Happy Tuesday, folks. It's me, hashtag RDM Russell Devin McLean, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the live broadcast of Backstage with hashtag RDM right here on Spreaker and iHeartRadio. Got a great show lined up for you tonight. I'm going to be talking to the legendary Moe Bandy about his brand new album, and I'm also going to be joined by Navy SEAL turned country music recording artist, Mr. Pete Scobell. He'll be talking to us about his journey in music and how he got his start. Plus, I have some major news for the fans of the hit TV series Nashville. Put your earbuds in, kick back, and enjoy the show.
You're backstage with hashtag RDM on Radio Random Network. Now, here's the host, hashtag RDM Russell Devin McLean.
All right, it is May 31st, 2016, and you are listening to Backstage with hashtag RDM right here on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and at RadioRandomNetwork.com. We are live tonight, and if you would like to join us in the chat room, just go to Spreaker.com. It's been going great with the live shows, and I'm so glad everybody can join us. Now, before we get to the interviews with Mr. Moe Bandy and Pete Scobell, I got some news and headlines. As always, as I said a while ago, about Nashville, the hit TV series, for all the fans out there that like to watch the show. If you've seen the show, the last episode, that is, one hell of a cliffhanger they left us with. Now, I'm not here and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Go back and watch it on demand or on Hulu or Netflix or whatever and check it out. Even though ABC is done with Nashville, that does not mean the drama television series is no longer coming back on the screen. In fact, it has so much more stories to tell. That is, the show is currently being shopped around in hopes of being picked up for a fifth season. I know fans took to Twitter and social media with the hashtag Bring Back Nashville, and it looks like it's working. That's coming from the Lionsgate television company. It looks like they may be coming back. From what I understand from reading all the articles online, that the show is being shopped around, and there is about 5 or 6 different platforms that are interested in it. We will keep you updated on the status of Nashville, and we will make announcements whenever Nashville returns to the airwaves. Tanya Tucker is going to be coming back on tour, and she has added dates, so be sure and go to TanyaTucker.com, and I'm going to go check her out in August at the Golden Nugget Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, and hopefully catch an interview with her to share with you guys. She's been on the show before. Matter of fact, you can go to RadioRandomNetwork.com and check out some of the old interviews I did with Tanya. Great interviews. By the way, guys, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, you need to go ahead and do that, because next month we will be giving away Moe Bandy's brand new album. And when you sign up for the newsletter at RadioRandomNetwork.com, you're automatically entered in our monthly contest and giveaways for life. So be sure and check that out. Got some big news coming from RadioRandomNetwork.com and Radio Random Network. Mudtooth returns this Friday for sure. The pilot of the Mudtooth Show will air this Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Listen to the Mudtooth Show at RadioRandomNetwork.com, on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to your podcast from. But Mudtooth will be back with the Mudtooth Show, the very first episode, the pilot episode, this Friday. So be sure and check that out, guys. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can. It's at WRDM Network on Twitter. And also check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Radio Random Network. Got some great guests coming up. You better be sure and join me next Tuesday, which will be June 7th, 2016, because right here on Backstage with hashtag RDM, I'm going to be talking with the one and only John Anderson about his latest tour. And also on June 14th, I'm going to be talking with the host of the RFD TV hit series, The Joey Canyon Show. That's right, Joey Canyon will be right here talking about his show and everything else. You want to join me for that? He does great interviews too. Last one I seen him do was with the one and only Rex Allen Jr., who was here on Backstage with hashtag RDM with me just a couple of weeks ago. So that should be a pretty cool interview to talk with him. And he's also a songwriter, so you want to be sure and follow us and subscribe to us for that. I promise you will enjoy all the content that we bring to you every week here on Backstage with hashtag RDM on the Radio Random Network. Hey guys, if you would like to support us and keep these shows free for all of our listeners, it's real simple. just go to RadioRandomNetwork.com, click on the support tab at the top of the page, and it'll give you all the great ways to support and keep the shows free. You can be a Patreon and give monetarily as little as $1 a month to help with hosting fees and all that good stuff. You can also tell a friend. You can also rate and review the show on iTunes. That helps with the algorithms and the outreach of the show. And, just share our stuff on social media. Give us a tweet, a retweet. Tell us what's up. Hey, at the end of the month, Tuesday, June 28th, I want to do a listener appreciation show. I'm going to be giving away some great prizes. I'm going to be doing some call-ins and all that great stuff. So be sure and join us on June 28th. I may have a special guest join us as well. Like I said, we're going to be trying to take some calls from the fans and the listeners out there, make it a little bit more interactive, something fun for all of you guys as well. So you want to join us for June 28th for that. All right, fans, friends, and listeners, you subscribed, you're listening, now enjoy. All right, joining me today on Backstage with hashtag RDM on the Radio Random Network. He's been on the show quite a few times. He's a favorite of mine, personally. He's got a new album coming out. I'm talking to one of the most genuine, real troubadours, the one and only Mr. Moe Bandy. Mr. Moe, how you doing today, friend?
I'm doing great. Good talking with you.
Good talking with you as well, man. You got a lot of great stuff going on here. First and foremost, got a brand new album coming out. Real quick, Mo, if you don't mind, give us some insight on the inspiration behind the album.
Well, I wanted to do another album, and I talked to Jimmy Capps, the great guitar player, and I talked him into producing the album for me. Of course, he played guitar on it. And we went back and got some of the older players that we used and mixed with some of the new players. And we just really had a good time. We started looking for songs, and there's so many great country songs laying around here in Nashville, and I wrote one. And then I had the Oak Ridge Boys and Ricky Skaggs and Riders in the Sky.
Wow.
Came in and sang with me on different songs, and we had a ball with this project.
That's awesome. Now, for those that don't know, RFD TV, Mr. Jimmy Capps, that is he plays the sheriff on Larry's Country Diner, correct?
He's the sheriff, yeah, and if I don't sing good, he arrests me.
Now, he's had a lot to do over the years with a lot of different albums and a lot of different artists. He's been on a lot of different albums. How did you come to meet Mr. Jimmy?
Well, I've known Jimmy for many years. He played on my records years ago, and we've just been friends for many years. And he is one of the best session players around town. And he has such a great ear. He's just naturally a great producer. I mean, he just is a natural at that. And so I trusted Jimmy on everything with the music and all, and he did great.
So tell me one thing real quick. Now, I mean, I know you've been a guest on Larry's Country Diner many times, but last time I talked to you, you were actually had something in the works with Mr. Gene Watson.
And we're still working on that. We're going to have it out hopefully soon. But it's the Moe and Gene show. And, of course, Gene likes to say the Gene and Moe show, but
right.
The real one is Moe and Gene. And Gene Watson and I are doing a TV show, and we did a 1-hour special, and it worked out really good. And we're going to do a half-hour show. We're going to do 26 episodes. So it should be a lot of fun. And I'm going to pick on him and a lot of problems during that time.
It's always a lot of fun, especially with Mr. Gene Watson. He's been on here a few times as well. But with all of that said, do you mind giving us a little insight on how you actually come to meet Gene Watson?
Well, Gene and I are both from Texas. He's from Houston. I'm from San Antonio. And I actually met Gene years ago before either one of us had a hit record. We would play like a benefit thing or something like that, and we were both playing around Texas, and then my record broke in 73, and I think Gene's broke in about 75, somewhere around there. And so we've been friends ever since. We've been good buddies.
Yes, indeed. Well, this album's got a lot of great material on it, a lot of new stuff, a lot of great stuff. But is there any one particular track that is your absolute favorite?
Well, I really like the song that Bill Anderson wrote for me called "I've Done Everything Hank Williams Did But Die," and we went back to my old style years ago and put kind of that flavor to it, but with a new modern technology and the new players. These players are incredible. And we really had fun with that song, and I think it's one of my favorites.
That's now, I mean, you've worked with so much, you've done so much stuff. Are you still touring? You still got your tour going?
I'm still touring. I'm out there in the bus with the band, and we're traveling across the country. We're really having a good time and just having fun. You know, that's what it's all about, really. It's having fun.
Yes, indeed. You talked about the song, I've Done Everything Hank Williams Did But Die, that was written by Opry legend Mr. Bill Anderson. But you've also, they got some Ricky Skaggs, what is it? It's The Rarest Flowers? Is that one by Ricky?
Yeah, the Rarest Flower, I had cut that years ago on an album, and it was one of those that was kind of buried in an album. And we went back and recut it, and we're really excited. Ricky come in and played mandolin and sang harmony, and we just really did a good job. We're tickled to death about that.
Yes, indeed. Well, before I let you go, because I know you got a busy day, you got a lot of stuff going on, I'm going to ask you a few more questions. First and foremost, one of my personal favorite songs that you had put out, it was the AMC Song of the Year, and it was for It's a Cheating Situation. Would you mind giving us a little insight behind A Cheating Situation?
Yeah, we found that song years ago, and Sonny Throckmorton and Curly Putnam wrote it. And we found the song, and we recorded it. We felt like we needed a lady to sing on there with us. And we had a lady there that sang. And we just felt like we could, it needed to be a little bit better. And I definitely wouldn't mention the lady's name. But Janie Freaky was
that's
so
it,
nice.
Jane Freaky, that's right.
Janie already had several hit records, and she was nice enough to come in and sing with me, and it just give it that feel and it was Song of the Year in 1979.
That is awesome. What was it like working with Miss Janie?
It was great, and I did quite a few shows with her. We did a show a couple weeks ago, and it's always great. We always sing that song on our shows. But Janie is just one of the best singers ever. I mean, she's just perfect pitch, sings so great. And it's just a thrill working with her.
That's awesome. Now, Lucky Me is your 29th studio album. Did you ever think that you would have 29 albums?
Oh, my goodness. I never dreamed of that. And, of course, we have added to that is the albums with Joe Stampley and Christmas albums and special project albums. And so I've had so many albums out there, and I never dreamed I would. And I looked up now, and here we got all these songs that I had over the years, and it's amazing.
That is awesome. Well, before I let you go, Mr. Moe, real quick, you know, there's a lot of up-and-coming singer-songwriters, recording artists, and musicians that would probably want to follow in your footsteps, given all your success in your journey in the music industry. Do you have any advice that you could share that may help some of them along the way?
Well, I've noticed throughout the years, and it happened to me, is you try for quite a while and you get discouraged and want to quit or do something else. And I always tell people, don't give up. If you believe in yourself and people believe in you, and you got to hang in there and give it every chance you can. And because I know people that tried to get records and things for many, many years, and all of a sudden it just hits you when it's your time.
Right.
And, so I tell everybody, don't quit.
Real quick before I let you go, do you remember that moment when it happened for you, when you finally realized that you was going to be able to make a living at making music and selling records?
I will never forget it as long as I live. I just started hating cheat songs today, and then I cut a song called Honky Tonk Amnesia, and I was so in debt up to my ears in debt because of paying for these sessions in Nashville. And I got to where I paid my debts, and I got to make money out of it. I thought, my goodness, what a dream. Do this and get paid for it.
Yes, indeed. The name of the album is Lucky Me by Mr. Moe Bandy, and you can pick it up on iTunes, Amazon, and all other major streaming and retail networks and stores. For more information about Moe, that's right. You can go to moebandy.com and check it out, too. That's where I would go first, as a matter of fact, because you'll be able to keep up with all of Moe's tour dates. He'll probably be coming to a city near you very soon. Mr. Moe, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you call in and talk with me today, friend, and you're always welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking with you.
All right, Mr. Moe Bandy, thank you so much for joining us today, friend. Always great to talk with the one and only Moe Bandy right here on the Radio Random Network and Backstage with hashtag RDM. I want to send a shout out to my friend Scott over at Webster PR for hooking that interview up with us. And for more information about Moe Bandy, all you have to do is go to www.moebandy.com and find out all about his tour dates, pick up the latest album, and so much more. All right, guys, it's time for the next guest, Mr. Pete Scobell. So without further ado, let's go to the interview. All right, we're here back at Backstage with hashtag RDM on the Radio Random Network, and I have a special guest today. He is a multi-talented recording artist, and he's also served the country and traveled the world as a Navy SEAL and a pro athlete. My special guest today is none other than Mr. Pete Scobell. Mr. Pete, how you doing today, friend?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing today?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great. So you're calling us, it says from Hawaii. So are you in Hawaii?
No, I kept my cell phone when I was stationed there. People always answer when you call and a Hawaii number pops up. They think, something good's happening on the other end.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, man, you got a lot of stuff going on. I was doing some research last night getting ready for the interview. And I have to tell you, man, props to you, friend. You are a Renaissance man.
Well, that's one way to put it. If you ask my wife, she'd probably call me something else.
I hear you. Well, we're here today. We're going to talk about some music in which you are. You have a hell of a track record as far as that goes, with your latest album, Walking the Wire. With that said, Pete, give us a little insight on how you come about to follow your dreams to become a Nashville recording artist.
Totally by accident. My mom was a music teacher, and I grew up playing music. She passed away when I was young, and so music was kind of my way of, I guess, being close to her. And so I always played, and I took my guitars on every deployment and everywhere I was at, and I wrote music. And I'd written a song that was picked up to be in a movie called The Hornet's Nest, and Winona Judd and Cactus Mosier had written a song called Follow Me, and it was also in the movie. And Cactus called me out of the blue one day and said, "Hey, I like your stuff. Would you like to come to Nashville and record an EP?" And I just said, "Yeah, chance of a lifetime." So flew out to Nashville. I'd never been here before, and spent a couple weeks living at Winona and Cactus' house, and cut an album, and then ended up on tour and got another album. And now we're here. You went ahead and pretty much jump started the whole thing. And as you said, you went on tour with Winona Judd, which that was on her Stories and Songs tour. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied here. But Pete, what was that experience like going on tour with such a decorated artist such as Winona Judd? It was an awesome circus. I think that's the best way to put it. It was a fantastic experience. Why said, "Hey, look, you don't get a band. It's just you and your guitar, and you got to go out there and win the crowd." And I think it was a great learning experience. With just live. We did it on one bus, so we're all living together, and just to have the insights in the band and her and Cactus and everyone, and Tammy, assistant. Tammy's just made my life wonderful, and she's just a great human being. Same with Y. Everyone it was a very educational experience. But touring, and you have touring, and it's touring.
There you go.
So it was fun.
There you go. You talked about the song "Hearts I Leave Behind," which it features Winona Judd. It hit number 1 on the iTunes country chart the day after it was released, which is that doesn't happen to too many people, man. I mean, what was that feeling like to know that you hit number 1 the day after the song was released?
It was pretty amazing. I just kept. We released it and we were doing some interviews and press and then, I just kept checking the iTunes charts and it just kept going up. I mean, I was happy when it was on the iTunes charts at like 100. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And, by 24 hours later to have it sitting at number 1, I was like, wow, that's, it was pretty, it felt good. I mean, we donated all the money to charity and, I don't know, it was just overall it was a great experience. As fast as it went to number 1, it wasn't at number 1. So
right.
It's like every other ride, in music. It's you got your good days, and then you got the day after your good day. So, it was a pretty neat introduction to the industry.
Yes, indeed. Now you talked about earlier. We'll rewind a little bit about your. You pretty much music's been a part of your life, and your other than your mom, who was some of your influences?
Oh God, I mean, it's kind of I grew up during that 80s and 90s, and my neighbor used to listen to Just Like Country on all the time, and then it was really kind of split, like old school country, and then a lot of everybody from Guns N' Roses, Stevie Ray Vaughan, to Waylon Jennings, like it basically covers the spectrum. Pearl Jam was another huge influence, and I don't know, like all of it kind of comes together. Our live show is very much probably not what you would expect. I mean, the songs we cover Alice in Chains song. It's definitely a little bit of everything thrown into one show. So. I love music in general, and if it feels good, I like to play it.
Very much so. Now, your album "Walking the Wire," which you released back September 11, 2015, can you give us a little insight on the inspiration behind the album itself?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just fell together. The name "Walking the Wire," that song was actually written by Dave Lee Murphy and Dierks Bentley, and was the last song added to the album. And the title really kind of, I think, codified my thoughts about being a musician and being in the public eye with all the Navy SEAL stuff that was out there. I never wanted to be that. I wanted my music to lead and then my story to be told, because I can't, not that I'm hiding it. I just don't think that, I want people in 5 years to go, as like fun fact, hey, did you know he used to do that? And so I always felt like I was walking a wire with my music career and being in the public eye. So yeah, it's really kind of the album, we started out like good gunfight, just got to let it develop. And it just, it kind of came together, and when we were all said and done, we kind of sat back and we're like, "Wow, that was kind of a cool experience." I think we got something good here. We didn't try to force it, just
right.
It was natural.
Well, I guess it's safe to say that you're a musician first.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. I can't get away from my past. Like I said, I'm not embarrassed of it by any means. I'm very proud of it, but I don't want to be remembered as that. I think the music is something that is hopefully something that I'll leave behind.
totally understandable, friend. Well, back in March, you went on a wild cruise called the Chillin' the Most cruise, where you joined with Kid Rock and a couple of other guys. Now, what was that experience like?
That was mind-boggling. You get an opportunity to go on a Kid Rock cruise, go. It was one of the. I was blown away by just how wonderful all the people were. I mean, a lot of them have been on the cruise 5, 6 years, 7 years, and every year they go. That's their vacation, and they were the most eclectic. You know, everybody from duct tape to diamonds on the boat, and it was. But everyone was just very nice, very patriotic, and just fun people to be around. You know, you never knew. I met so many great people you talk to, and just and Kid Rock is, you know, he's awesome, dude. First of all, he's the real deal. He's a great American. I'm sad to say he just recently suffered a loss. That's
right, his assistant, correct?
Killed in an accident. Mike, who is a friend of mine as well, and you know, it's a tough time. You know, Mike was such a great guy. You know, it was a lot. It was definitely a lot to take in on the cruise, and we had a lot of fun. And hopefully they'll have us back next year.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get on there and join you guys next year as well. I had some friends go, and they say you got to go and experience it. It's a party, and it's a party like no other. So I can just imagine.
Yeah, like I said, I had no idea what I was walking into, and we played a lot. I think we played 3 shows over 4 days, and it was and just the music on the boat was fantastic. I mean, every time you turned around, there was just another great band playing. Tim Montana and the Rednecks, you know, just Kid Rock and Steel Panther, and I mean, it was just a blast. Good times.
Yes, indeed. Well, with that said, I know you got a busy day ahead of you and everything with all the media stuff going on today, but real quick, is there anything your fans could look forward to music-wise? You got any new projects to maybe you in the works?
Yeah, we are. Well, I mean, we're touring this weekend. We're going to be down in Texas. We got 3 shows in Texas, and then from there, we're just kind of, you know, all over the place. Back in Colorado, but it'll, you know, nothing. We're not going back in the studio anytime soon. So, just baby steps. By
the way, yeah, that's right. You're in Fort Worth tomorrow night, and it's going to be at the Whiskey Girl Saloon for all our listeners there in Fort Worth, Texas. Go out and support the band and support Pete, and you can find all information about Pete at PeteScobell.com. You can follow his tour dates and get all the updates, connect with him on social media and all that good stuff. Well, Pete, I know you have a busy day ahead of you, friend, and I want to say it was an honor and a pleasure to talk with you today.
Thank you. It was an honor to be on the show. Thank you so much.
And we wish you all the best, and maybe we catch up with you in the next couple of months.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, my man. Mr. Pete, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll talk at you soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, my man. All right, friends, I want to send a special thanks out to Mr. Moe Bandy and Pete Scobell for joining me here tonight for Backstage with #RDM. And just another friendly reminder, for more interviews, show notes, daily news, and trending headlines, all you have to do is head on over to RadioRandomNetwork.com. You can find out how to support. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can see who's going to be our guest in the next couple of months, all that great stuff. So just go to RadioRandomNetwork.com and connect with us over there. You can. They also have the links for our social media and all that great stuff. And with all of that said, guys, that's my time for this week's edition of Backstage with #RDM. Don't forget to join me June 7th, 2016 for John Anderson right here joining me on Backstage with #RDM. 7:05 Central Standard Time every Tuesday at www.radiorandomnetwork.com/live on Spreaker Radio and on iHeart. You can also go back and listen to the show in podcast format on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, and wherever you listen to your podcast from. We're on all the major networks. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll talk at you next week.